What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Let me know how we sounding. Let me know how we sounding. Test, test, test. Turn this volume down a little bit. Man, y'all lucky I fuck with y'all because StreamYard be robbing motherfuckers. StreamYard just robbed your boy. Well, it's not robbing because I gave them the money, but these motherfuckers be doubling the price before you know it. I gotta make a whole new account now because fuck paying what they just charged me. What the hell? But I fuck with y'all, so it's all good. So they're gonna get that bread this month, but next month I'm about to make a whole new account so I can get that discount price again because them motherfuckers up the price for no reason, man, and they didn't even do nothing extra. All right, like I don't get nothing extra. I don't even use half the tools they offer. If y'all know any other streaming platforms that work, let me know because I might go shopping. You know what I'm saying? Because stream got tripping. But you know what's not tripping? The charts. The win streak continues, y'all. Oh my goodness! If y'all went for GJ sales yesterday, that motherfucker tanked like crazy yesterday. So we're gonna be looking for GJ sales today as well. We're just waiting for a retest. You already know the vibes. And then we're gonna be looking for continued GU buys. And there was no possible reason why nobody was able to catch GU buys unless you're on the future side, of course, because not only did that thing fly all London session, but it literally flew all fucking New York session as well until market close. All right, so there's literally so many opportunities to catch GU buys yesterday. So we're gonna be looking for continued GU buys. NAS also went as projected as well, and then that thing flew last night also. So again, when everybody be talking about, oh, Tokyo session no volume, look at this. All right, so again, it does not matter what your work schedule is. The markers are open 23 hours out the day, 5 days a week. All right. Tired of people going my DMs talking about I can't do this, I can't do. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. All right. If there's a will, there's a way. But retracements are definitely due on GU. We're still gonna be looking for buys though. It's retracing today though, which is okay. So yeah, the vibes are still the same today. We're gonna be looking for GU buys. We're gonna be looking for GJ sales. NQ and NAS100 is basically about to tickle the all-time highs. So we could look for buys today as well on this. Didn't pull up US30 because US30 does not look the same. Again, market structure. Always look at the market structure on the bigger time frame. All right, because when we look at US30, we see a completely different picture. Now, we are still bullish though. We are still bullish on US30, so we could still look for buys today, to be fair. But I like NAS100 better, so we're gonna look at NQ today. Make sure to like the lives. You'll hop up in here. Shout out to those that already did that. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already as well. We just hit 5,000. No, we're almost at 5,000. We just hit 4,600 subscribers. Let's get to 4,700, y'all. Got a new video dropping for y'all later on today. And yeah, it's gonna be another good day, y'all. It's gonna be another good day. I'm about to see if we can find a setup right here. If y'all got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we're looking at any charts, drop them in the chat. But you already know the drill. We're just chilling, patiently waiting. So we're gonna be looking for GJ sales. The game plan's still the same as long as we can. Well, we actually broke past that other point, right? So now we're gonna be looking for sales if we can maintain 210.80 as resistance. All right, so we're either gonna look for price to break. We're either gonna look for price to retest 210.80, or if we can break below, maintain 210.45 as resistance. We can look for sales going to 210.05. All right, here's another example of why I don't breakout trade. Right, another example why I don't breakout trade. Always wait for the break and retest. All right, y'all. Always wait for the break and retest. So yeah, we're gonna see what the charts got in store for us. So we're gonna keep it on GJ for the most part. But we do got alerts on everything else, so we're not gonna be missing anything. And then gold, of course, flew last night. I'm telling y'all, Tokyo session for the futures and indices, especially gold. I've been telling y'all for a very long time. Do not listen to the hype about New York session. It's only session 2 trade. I literally have students that only trade Tokyo session and be making a bag. Again, look at this. 8 o'clock on the dot. Another big ass setup on gold. 11:30, almost midnight. Another big ass push you could have caught on gold last night. Yesterday, there was a decent gold buys as well. So again, if the markets are open, your confirmations are met, take the setup. Unless, of course, it's like 2 hours before market close, then don't do that shit. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Those just joined the live. We have not entered anything yet. These are just trade ideas. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. What's going on, Father Doug? What's going on, my boy? What's going on, my boy? What's going on, Izzy? I see you up in here. You sounding good. Bet. What's going on, Chris? And the person that was trolling in the TikTok live, if you're in the live right now or you follow me on Instagram, DM me. I'm telling y'all, I have to be strict on TikTok, because if y'all don't know, I'm on my 5th TikTok account. All right, that's why my 5,000 still a decent amount of followers on TikTok. But again, if y'all are OGs, y'all know that we was getting suspended and violated left and right last year, 2023, etc., etc. So now I'm super strict when it comes to the TikTok lives, because I'm tired of starting over. All right, we'd probably be at like 20K followers minimum on TikTok if I didn't have to keep on starting over. Right, so again, I've been telling y'all, do not troll in my TikTok lives. All right, but I do apologize. I didn't see your message until I didn't see the comment until after the fact. Right, so again, we've been getting suspended and banned a lot of times. Right, so now I got to be super strict with the shit that be going on in the comment section and followers, okay? Because the trolls like to come in, and then when I prove them wrong, they like to report my page for dumb shit. Like, I be getting reported for tobacco use. Y'all never see me smoke on camera ever, but I be getting reported for the dumbest shit. I can't even post what other people post on TikTok. That's why it's always just my handsome face and me talking and spitting game. So again, do not be trolling in my TikTok. Like, don't even troll my YouTube comments, because y'all don't be peeping, but I be kicking motherfuckers out my YouTube comments too. Right, and I remember names and faces, so don't think I ain't gonna remember you because I got 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. I be remembering names and faces, all right? I be remembering names and faces, all right? But let's see if GU can hold this level as support, all right? I'm not against going for a buy setup here. If GU can maintain 38.05 as support, we can look for buys going to 38.45. Or if it wants to retest 37.70 as support, we can look for buys there as well. Now, we do have the infamous FOMC today. All right, we do have the infamous FOMC today. We also have 9:45 and 10:30 Canadian news. And then we also have 2:30 FOMC. So we're not going to be going live during FOMC with the members. We should be live on TikTok today, though. I'll let y'all know, of course, if we're going to be live on TikTok. So we might be live on TikTok during the FOMC news. But we will be live with the members exclusively during tomorrow and Friday's 8:30 news. So members, make sure to be on the lookout for that good stuff. All right, so right now we're looking at possible GU buys and GJ sells. That's the game plan right now. NAS ended up flying last night, as well as New York session yesterday. So again, if y'all was in the live yesterday, my levels are off because, as you know, I update my levels all the time. But also NAS has been bugging the fuck out. I don't know what the fuck NAS has been doing. It's been traumatic. Like, my levels keep on glitching. I think they're trying to nerf me now. It's a little too late, right? But again, we had this drop at the 9:30 open, hit that level we talked about. And then what did price do the rest of the New York session? Fly up. So hopefully y'all did not fall for that fake out, because again, like I always tell y'all, do not chase price, but follow the flow of price. All right, y'all. So we got a new 5-minute about to pop up in a little bit. We're about to see how this next 5-minute looks, how it plays out. I am leaning towards GJ sells over GU buys though, just because again, GU's been fucking flying, right? So, and GJ has not really been doing that. So I feel like we could catch a smoother move on GJ. But today Should be interesting, especially tomorrow on Friday as well. Because depending on how price plays out this week, we might see the downtrend coming on GJ, or we could see price reverse back up to the bullish momentum, right? Because we still haven't gotten that far, right? Because this was Friday, this was Monday, Tuesday, and today, right? So price hasn't done anything too crazy with GJ. It's still been kind of just chilling in place versus GU. That thing flew Friday, then we caught a nice move Monday, then yesterday price, just fucking flew, right? And again, make sure to hit that first link in the description on the free Super Free Telegram. Yes, it is Wednesday, but still watch the Sunday chart analysis. I'm gonna keep on telling y'all every day to watch this motherfucker because I want y'all to understand. Once you rip the band-aid off and you learn how to read the charts, you're gonna be able to know what to look for on a week-by-week basis, a day-by-day basis, on news days, no news days, high volume, low volume days, uptrend, downtrend, consolidation does not matter. Because all the setups we took so far this week, we literally broke that down and said we was gonna be looking for those setups Sunday night at 10 o'clock before London session, before New York session, and all that good stuff, right? So you watch the Sunday chart analysis, a lot of the charts are going as projected from Sunday night. All right, so the win streak continues. We're on like a 9-trade win streak right now as far as the signal room is concerned, which is not bad at all. Went 6-0 last week, 5-1 the week before that, and then 5-1 the week before that, the first week of January. So we've only taken 2 losses so far this month, which is not bad at all. And just like you see on your screen, Q4, October went 30 wins, 4 losses, November 27 wins, 3 losses, December 23 wins, 5 losses, ending the quarter 80 and 12, giving us an 87% win rate, catching a total of 305,170 pips. So, we've just been absolutely killing it, y'all. But if you got any questions, drop them in the chat. When looking at any charts, drop them in the chat. New 5-minute did just pop up. So let's see what the market's got in store for us. All right, let's see what the market's got in store for us. Let's see how GJ reacts to this level here. Members, do not forget to sign up for y'all's one-on-one session. I know last week was a little bit different, but I did catch up to most of y'all's sessions on the weekend. I am feeling a lot better. I'm at like 90% right now. I still got some shit in my chest that we gotta, clear out. But do not forget to sign up for y'all sessions this week. There's 3 more spots left for one-on-one sessions until, one person drops off. And I got a few things I'm working on behind the scenes, all right, y'all? And again, for those that aren't ready to go all in yet, make sure to join the tier 1 of the Playmakers and join the Playmaker alerts, all right? With the Playmaker alerts, you still get access to the trade ideas, the daily New York price watch list, and notified whenever my key price levels get hit. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's pay attention to the charts really quick. All right. So again, we don't break out trade. We're going to be waiting for the break and retest here. Let's see if we can hold these levels right here. Let's see if we can hold these levels right here. Also, make sure to get y'all's copies of the playbooks, y'all. Like I tell y'all need to get y'all's copies of the playbooks. Links in the description. Might drop it in the chat in a little bit. Shout out to those that got y'all's copies. Had a few people get some copies yesterday as well. Again, it's the first month of the year is almost over. We got 11 months left, y'all. Let's not repeat unless you was doing great and killing it last year. Let's not have a repeat of last year, y'all. The markets have been smooth this month. There is no reason people should be talking about bad price action or anything like that, because the markets have been moving smooth on both the futures and the forex side. Obviously, it's a little bit tougher on the future side because, you know, we got the all-time highs and whatnot, but still, there was clean setups yesterday, clean setups Monday, clean setups last week. You just gotta be a little bit more patient, right? But you gotta be patient regardless. Trading is the waiting game, right? You know what your game plan is. So now all you gotta do is just simply wait for price to show you it's ready to make the move, or if it's not going to make the move. That's literally all you gotta do. That's what we do during these live streams. We're simply just waiting to see if price can hold these levels, or if it's not going to hold these levels. All right, new 15 just popped up. Let's see what we got going on. Let's see if we can hold this level here. Again, I'm not against a buy setup here. Not against a buy setup here. Now, depending on if it's going to retrace before New York session, during New York session, that's a whole nother question. It's a whole nother question. Again, we do got FOMC later on today. And then we got Canadian news at 10:30 to 9:45. And if you do not know how to trade news, we go live every week with the members during news events. You can have access to all the past recordings, or just go to the playlist titled How to Trade News. Check that out. Because literally those are some old videos in there, but the rules still apply, right? Because again, we've been doing the exact same shit, following the exact same rules since 2022. Nothing's changed but the prices of the markets we're trading and the date, right? That's the only thing that changed, but we do the exact same thing every single day. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok as well, y'all. Y'all see it scrolling at the bottom of y'all screens. Instagram, Playmaker_Way, TikTok _PlaymakerWay_. Post daily on both pages. And yeah, TikTok, I think I saw some shit. I think they like sold something. I don't know. I didn't look into it enough. I don't really care that much. But TikTok definitely, something definitely happened with TikTok. TikTok is a little bit weird. It's still working how it should, but it's definitely different. It's fixing itself too, because I remember like Sunday or Monday, like I was seeing the same 30 videos over and over and over again on my For You page, but that's not an issue no more. But like my posts be a little bit laggy, like it'll be like at 0 views for a minute, and then it'll be pushing the algorithm like at 2 hours later or some weird shit. But we're gonna keep it pushing though. I got some new videos lined up for y'all. Let's see if we can hold these levels right here. New 5 minute about to pop up. We're about to see if we can hold this level as support. Again, we're looking at possible GJ sells and GU buys right now. We're just waiting to see if we can hold this level as support right here. If y'all got any questions, drop in the chat. When we look at any charts, drop in the chat. But you already know the drill. We're just chilling, patiently waiting. again, this is why we want to wait for the retest. This is also why we want to wait for the retest, right? This is again why I do not break out trade. So we would have took an unnecessary loss for no reason. Again, there's no rush to take a setup. We're up for the week. We're up for the month. There's literally no rush to jump into trades. Game plan's still the same though. What's going on, Ed? Talk about confirmations. Your entry, please. Okay, so the confirmations I look for. These are the only confirmations I look for, right? The first thing I'm looking for is to see what trend we're in, right? So, like for example, with GU. The reason why we took GU buys yesterday and GU buys on Monday is the same reason why we're looking for GU buys today, right? Because the first thing you want to do is you want to identify the trend, right? And you want to identify the trend on the bigger time frame. I recommend the daily. I have some people do the 4 hour, but I like to do it based off the daily time frame because that's how price moves. Price moves on a day-by-day basis, right? So just like when you watch the Sunday chart analysis, right? So make sure to hit the first link description, join the free signal for Telegram, and watch this week's Sunday chart analysis because I was talking about GU buys at the beginning of the week for GU as well as for US30 and NAS100, right? So we just take a trip down memory lane. This is how price. This was Thursday last week. This was Friday last week, right? So we broke the high, and we also canceled out the downtrend on Thursday and Friday last week, right? So the bullish momentum came into play, right? So again, just like we were talking about during the TikTok lives, these are the only 3 cycles price is ever going to be in: uptrend, downtrend, and consolidation. Right, these are the only 3 cycles price is ever going to be in. All these patterns and candlesticks people talk about on the internet, they're all within these 3 cycles, right? So we look at price right here, we see we're in an uptrend. One, because we had bullish momentum here. We had price reversed and the downtrend came into play, and then the downtrend got broken. And again, when we retrace price's steps, what do we see? We see higher lows and higher highs, right? So since we're in an uptrend, I'm only going to look for buys. That's why you see here, just like you saw on yesterday's live stream, Monday's live stream, I'll have my buy setups. I'm just waiting to see which level that I got marked out is going to hold that support first. Because again, until the uptrend is broken on the daily time frame, I'm going to continue to look for buys. That's why on Monday, when we went for buys on GU, we got a nice setup, and then what did price do on New York session on Monday? Flew to the upside, right? And that's why yesterday, even though we saw this retracement here, we still went for buys here. And also when we had this resistance over here, price blew through that level and flew all day yesterday because again, on the bigger time frame, we are in an uptrend. So when you just make your life easier and go with the flow of price, you're going to have the momentum going in your favor, as well as when the volume kicks in. As you can see, you're going to have the volume going in your favor as well. So it literally puts trading on easy mode just by doing that by default. So that's why we saw on Monday, price pushed up. Yesterday, price pushed up, right? So that's literally what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see if we're bullish or bearish on the daily time frame. And then after that, I mark off my key price levels. I enter buys off support, sells off resistance. So like we saw right here, all right? So unless y'all just joined in the beginning of the live, we have my buy setup here. I said, let's see if we can hold this level as support. Price failed to do so, which is why we didn't take the buy setup. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with GJ. Since we're in a bearish momentum on GJ, I'm going to look for sells, but I also do not want to break out trade, right? The main reason why breakout trading fucks y'all up is because you're going against the momentum, right? And I just dropped a video as well, so make sure to watch this video as well, support resistance, right? So you can understand how support resistance works. So make sure to watch this video after the live is over also. But the reason why you want to enter buys off support is because when price holds a level at support, it pushes price up, right? When price holds a level at support, pushes price up, pushes price up, pushes price up, pushes price up. But when price holds a level as resistance, it pushes price down. And the issue with breakout trading, I'm giving y'all some game right now, so I hope y'all taking notes. All right. The reason why breakout trading fucks you up is because you're going for buys off resistance levels and you're trying to go for sells off of support levels. But if we know support levels pushes price up, If we close our eyes and use simple logic, it doesn't make any sense to go for sells off support levels, just like it doesn't make any sense to go for buys off of resistance levels, because you're literally fighting against how the markets work. You see what I'm saying? But the internet will tell you, oh, that's your stop loss getting hunted. That's the bears or bulls magically coming into play, but it's not, right? Because again, before all these patterns and all this other shit people came up with out of nowhere for marketing and bullshit, the basics was uptrend, downtrend, consolidation, and support resistance. This was the basics of trading. Uptrend, downtrend, consolidate. This was the basics of trading. All this other shit is literally new shit, right? And that's why so many people are confused, because everybody's using all these crazy terms like we're fucking scientists or some shit instead of just keeping it simple, right? But those are the confirmations I look for. Uptrend, downtrend on a bigger time frame, go to the smaller time frame, enter buys of support, sells off resistance, right? Another thing you want to look for is to make sure that your trades are at least 1 to 2 RRs, right? Because if they're at least 1 to 2 RRs, you can literally lose a trade or lose 2 trades, and all it takes is 1 trade to cancel out a loss. You see what I mean? And again, look how price keeps rejecting this level, right? So I'd be an unnecessary drawdown right now, and that potential risk of my stop loss getting hit for no reason, just due to impatience. That's what it is at the end of the day. Because when I be telling people to wait for your confirmations, a lot of times people think, oh, if I wait for these confirmations, I'm gonna miss the setup. No, you're not, right? Because did we miss a setup here? No, we didn't. You see what I'm saying? We actually saved ourselves from taking a loss just by being patient. You see what I'm saying? Good question though. Let's see what else we got going on. Yep. Always follow the trend. Yep, the trend is your friend. That is a fact. Always follow the trend. What's going on, Emmanuel? I wanted to ask you something. Answer you can. I wanted to quit my job for a while so I could do other things and put more time into trading. How much money should I have? Should I save to consider quitting? Okay. So, I'm going to tell you what I did, and then I'm going to answer your question. So I'm going to answer your question 2 different ways. I'm going to tell you what I did, and then I'm going to answer your question, okay? So for those that don't know, I was working 2 jobs, okay? I was working 2 jobs a week, 6 days out the week. Only had 1 full day off. I had 2 half days off, meaning I still worked one of my jobs, but there was 2 days where I didn't work them at the same time or the same day. But I worked 6 days out the week, only had 1 full day off, right? So while I was doing that, I was learning how to trade, okay? Fast forward, once I started to make money trading consistently, I quit one of my jobs and only had 1 full-time job that I worked during the day, you know, quote unquote 9 to 5. It wasn't really 9 to 5, but y'all get the point, right? It was a 9 to 5. And then I was making part-time income with trading, okay? It wasn't until a little bit later down the line that I quit both my jobs and started full-time trading. So what you need to understand about this trading shit, okay? Especially when you're first starting to make money with trading. The last thing you want to do is quit your job immediately. Because if you quit your job immediately, especially if you don't have any savings and shit, you're going to have so much pressure on you every time you enter buy or sell. Because now you need to make money with trading. So if you don't have a proven system that works, or you don't trust yourself and trust the process, you're going to be stressing every time you see a little bit of red. You're going to be nervous to take setups. You're going to be closing trades early all the time. It's just going to fuck you up, right? So you do not want to have that pressure on you that you need to win every single trade, because as soon as you take a loss, your mental is going to be fucked, right? So you need to have enough saved. I'd say really you should have like 3 to 6 months saved before you quit. That way you have a cushion, so you don't need to win a trade to fucking eat today, right? You don't need to win this trade to pay your rent, right? You already have that stuff taken care of. Because that's where a lot of people get fucked up at when they try to full-time day trade. Also, you need to do the math. You need to do the math of your expenses. How much is your rent? How much are all your bills combined? How much does it cost your insurance if you have a car, gas? How much do you spend on average a month? Check your pay stubs. Not check your pay stubs, check your bank statements. See how much you're spending every month and be like, okay, with my trading account, will I be able to make this, if not more, per month? If the answer is no, you should not quit your job, because again, you're going to put so much pressure on yourself and you're going to need to win every day, because if you don't, you're going to be on the streets. You see what I'm saying? Like, I get questions all the time where people will be like I had a question this one time where someone was like, I got 2 bands. I'm thinking about going full-time trading like you. Like, do you think I should do that? I'm like, no, because let's just do the math, right? And this is why math's so important. So let's pull out the handy dandy calculator. So again, you need to understand your monthly expenses, and you need to ask yourself, am I going to be able to make this a month minimum with my trading account? If the answer is no, if it is maybe, if it's not an immediate yes, you should not quit your job, okay? There's no rush. There's no rush. Like, I know people to this day that make 10K trading a month, but they still work a job, right? There's no rush quitting your job to full-time day trade, right? There's literally no rush quitting your job to full-time day trade. That's the last thing you want to do, right? Like I said, I was making part-time income with trading while still working a full-time job. And while I was doing that, I kept on, buying funded accounts. I kept on every paycheck throwing X amount of dollars into my live account to grow it. These are things you got to think about. You see what I'm saying? Like, because again, if we just pull out the calculator, right? If we just pull out the handy dandy calculator, if you got $3,000, let's say you got a $3,000 live account and you just make 3% a day, right? If you just close and make 3% a day, that's just $1,800. So are you going to be able to survive, pay your rent, pay your bills, your phone bills, your insurance, eat off $1,800 a month? I don't know. Depends what state you're in. Depends what country you're in, right? If you have a $5,000 live account and let's say you make 3% a day, right? Let's say you make 3% a day. That's $3,000 a month. Are you going to be comfortable literally making just $3,000 a month? Are you going to still be able to do what you do with just $3,000 a month, right? These are things you got to think about. But again, you need to have savings as well. That way you don't have that pressure that you need to win this trade, right? Because again, at the end of the day trading isn't a get rich quick scheme. It's not a money glitch. I mean, technically it is a money glitch, but it's not like a money glitch like these people be thinking, right? It's still investing, right? And a key part of investing is making sure you're making smart investments and a return on your investment, right? So these are things you got to think about. Are you going to be able to sustain your current lifestyle with your trading account? If the answer is no, you should not quit, right? And this goes back to what I was just talking about, right? Let me go back to your question, make sure I answer it fully. Do other things. What other things are you trying to do? What other things are you trying to do? You see what I'm saying? That's another question. What other things are you trying to do? You said put more time into trading. This is another thing you got to do. This is what I did, because again, I was working 2 jobs a week. Let's hold that thought. I was working 2 jobs a week, ladies and gentlemen. And I remember I used to tell myself, man, like, I need to actually lock in just like you were trading, but I don't have any time. So this is what you need to do, okay? I don't care if you got 10 children. I don't care what you got going on. We all have the same 24 hours. And if you want it, you will be able to make time, right? So this is what I want you to do. This is what I want everybody to do. This is what I did. Right, this is why I want people, I'm not talking about you because you're not making an excuse, you're asking a genuine question. But sometimes people will hit me up like, oh, I can't do on this session. I'm like, okay, well, the lives are recorded. You can watch the recording, right? Oh, I can't do that. I gotta work. Oh, I gotta work. I'm like, you don't need 8 hours of sleep, right? Just because the doctor and Google tells you need 8 hours of sleep, I'm here to tell you that is not true. That is not true at all. You do not need 8 hours of sleep. I operate fine off 4 hours of sleep a day. Right now I sleep a little bit more, but that's because I'm in a position where I can. But when I was in grind mode, I was literally sleeping like 4 hours a day. and I was still operating fine. Like, you might be a little tired at first, but you'll get used to it after the first week. Like, you don't need 8 hours of sleep. You don't. 6 hours, you're good. You don't need 8 hours of sleep. You get 4 hours consecutively. You might take a 2-hour nap here, 2-hour nap there, but you don't need 8 hours of sleep, right? So what I want everybody in here to do is I want you to write every hour of the day. There's 24 hours in the day. So I want you to write every hour of the day. And every hour, right? Midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., blah, 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 blah. I want you to write what you're doing every hour of the day. And you'll realize that most of us have at least 4 hours of free time. Now, what you're doing with that free time is debatable. You might be on Netflix. You might be on YouTube. Shit, you might be scrolling through TikTok, keeping up with what these rappers or celebrities are doing, whatever the case may be. But we all have at least 4 hours of free time a day. So what you want to do with your free time is use that time to lock in and study and learn the charts. That is what I did, because again, I was working 14-hour days. And I was like, bro, I don't have any time. But when I wrote down every hour of the day, I realized I did have time to learn and practice trading. So all the time, like, I literally stopped playing video games. I stopped watching anime. I stopped going out as much. Every hour that I was not at work or sleeping or commuting to and from work, I then put into learning and studying the charts. So that's the first thing you got to do. You got to organize your time, all right? Because I promise you, when y'all do that, you're going to realize that you have a lot more free time that you think you don't have. And then if you start making excuses, then you just don't want the shit, right? At the end of the day, if you want something, you can get it, right? There's literally no excuse. If you want something, you can get it at the end of the day, right? So that's the first thing you got to do. Do not rush trying to get into this full-time trading shit. I know people be glorifying it on YouTube. You know, everybody's buying an M5 for some fucking reason. You know, everybody's acting like, you know, a high-rise apartment is some accomplishment or some shit. I get it. It looks cool online. But this shit can get a little stressful, especially in the beginning. I'm used to it now because I've been doing this for a while, but my first year full-time, I was a little nervous and cautious, even though I did have some savings, because again, you got so much pressure on you now to make every trade count, because at the end of the day, you take a loss, that money's gone until you make it back, right? So I always tell people, before you even start trading on a live account, and this is what I did. Now, obviously, I was doing dumb shit and blew a bunch of bread, but after, you know, I got my act together, I practiced this strategy for 3 months straight on a demo account, all right? After I was consistently profitable for 3 months, that is when I went back to live accounts and buying funded accounts again, right? So you need to also know the ins and out of your strategy. You need to know, on average, how many times you're going to win. What are your wins going to look like? And you're not going to be able to understand and get that data until you put those reps in. You see what I'm saying? So you have to get all this information and data down before you make a drastic decision like that, all right? That's for everybody. That's why I don't really even like to say full-time day trading, because it's cringe now. But I am a full-time day trader at the end of the day, right? But with you being a full-time day trader, again, you have to. That's also why I'm so strict with my rules, because I know if I start doing dumb shit, because trading is a snowball, right? You're either going to snowball into profitability and then just start making a bunch of money, boom, 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 or you're going to snowball into unprofitability and lose a bunch of money, boom, 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 right? It's either one way. You're either going to drop it on this side of the hill or the other side of the hill, but either way, that snowball is coming down, all right? So that's why I'm so strict with my rules, because I know, one, that my strategy works. I just need to stick with the game plan, but two, I also know that, again, if I lose trades, if I crash out and do dumb shit and blow my accounts, I'm fucking up my livelihood. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes people crack underneath that pressure. So you need to make sure that you're ready for that. You see what I'm saying? You need to make sure that your strategy works. You're able to be consistently profitable for not just a month, but months on months. All right? Because every month's slightly different. The markets change. The volume changes. And we saw that last year. Only thing that happened last year is we made all-time highs, and y'all saw what was going on TikTok and Instagram. Everybody was running around like the chickens with their heads cut off. Oh my God, what is happening with price action? Blah, 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 blah. Right? So you need to understand the ins and outs of everything before you go all in on this, right? Again, there's no rush in quitting your jobs, right? There's literally no rush. That's why I don't glorify the whole trader lifestyle bullshit, because I know there's real people watching me behind the screens, and you know, people take, you know, what they see on the internet seriously, right? So again, at the end of the day, this is investing, right? At the end of the day, this is investing. All right, so hopefully that answers your question. Everybody else that be asking that as well. Good question though. So y'all got any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm looking to see if GJ is going to hold this level as resistance here. We finally did break and close right here, so we can look for a possible sell setup here. I do like this right here. We're going to see if we can hold this level, because I do like this as a sell setup. I do like this right here. Good question though. So yeah, do some reflecting, man. Do some reflecting and get that game plan down. Where my phone at? Let's see if we can hold this level here. We have not entered this trade yet, but we might enter a little depending on how price reacts to this level here. We might enter this in a little bit. Because I'm telling you, I dealt with this my first year going full time, man. Like, because before, I wasn't taking the shit serious. I was just making bread. I was at work. I open my phone. I'm in profit. My TV gets hit. It's cool. But when you're on the charts without, you know, having to sneak on your phone and shit, and you actually see every candlestick form, you see the market structure work, it's a completely different ballpark from this entering a setup and then letting it play out and seeing if it played out in your favor or not, right? It's a whole different ballpark, right? And then another thing with the market structure, it changes. You can be on a win streak, and as soon as the market structure changes and you don't understand the market structure change, you're not going to know how to use your strategy in those market conditions. So then you're going to be confused as hell. It's like, bro, this was just working last week. This was just working 2 weeks ago. Why am I on a lose streak all of a sudden? Is this my strategy not work anymore? Right? That's why, again, a lot of people were getting fucked up last year because they don't understand how the markets work. They just following a big push and then going with the momentum, right? So that's why as soon as the markets changed, we had all-time highs getting in, people was getting fucked up. But why was we not getting fucked up? Because again, I teach y'all how to read the charts, then I teach y'all a strategy, then I teach y'all the trading plan, trading psychology, risk management, et cetera, right? There's a process to this stuff, right? You have to have everything. You can't just have it. You can't just know every pattern name and be a profitable trader, right? You can't just have a high win rate and be a profitable trader, right? You can't just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have everything down, especially when you're trying to make full-time income with this shit. You have to have all your I's dotted and T's crossed. Definitely. All right, but the point I did with that calculator shit, because I remember one time, this person, I get questions like this all the time. Like, I have people like, man, like, you know, I'm thinking about loading my account with $200. You think I can make, you know, $100 a day or some shit? I'm like, no, you're not going to make $100 a day with $200, right? I was one person like, you know, I got $2,500 account. I'm thinking about going full time. I was like, bro, do not do that, because you're not going to be making the money you think you're going to be making, right? There's a reason why I don't be flexing my profits. Well, there's multiple reasons why, but that's the main reason why, because it throws people off, because people think, oh, no, what's important is what I talk about, right? And what do I talk about with every recap? The pips caught and the risk reward. That is what is important. That is what's going to make you your money. The risk reward and the pips and points you catch, right? You can only make what your account can handle and what you can risk. What determines RR, literally the trades you're going for, right? So click the link in the description. I also have the video on the day trend tips playlist, but you go to the free trading crash course, right? You go to the free trading crash course. Let me slide this over really quick. Here we go. right? When you join the free trading crash course, I dropped these videos. So the first video goes over all the tools I use on TradingView. So you'll know all the tools I use on TradingView, where to find them, how to bookmark them, all that good stuff. And then make sure to watch this video right here, how to become a profitable day trader in 90 days. And I got this video right here as well, 7 trading psychology and discipline rules to deal with losses, okay? So make sure to join the free trading crash course for those that are brand new to trading. And also make sure to click the second link to join the free signal for Telegram. And again, we have a tier list, all right, cheapest to most expensive, so you can get in with the plays, all right? Now, what determines risk to reward is literally the setup you're going for, right? So that's why you always see my buy ideas, because every trade I take, before I take the trade, I know how much I'm risking and I know how much I'm potentially making. So when I'm in the trade, I don't just enter buy or sell and then look at my broker and watch the green and red numbers flicker back and forth. I don't do that shit, right? Because I know before I take the setup how much I'm risking. Not only do I know how much I'm risking, I am okay with what I'm risking. That's also important. I'm okay with potentially losing and also okay with risking it. That is important. But I also know how much I'm going to potentially make per trade, right? So for example, this setup, if it does this full move I'm looking for, I'm gonna catch a 1 to 4 RR. If it just goes halfway to this first zone, I'm gonna catch a 1 to 2 RR, right? Meaning whatever you would have risked, you would have made 2 times that amount. Or if it does a full move, whatever you would have risked, you would have made 4 times that amount, right? So if you was to risk $100 and this full trade plays out, you'd make $400. If you was to risk $1,000 and this whole trade played out, you'd make $4,000. You see what I'm saying? So you always want to go for at least 1 to 2 RRs. Minimum. Especially if you don't have a high win rate, right? Like with me, we have a high win rate. We average 80-90% win rate. So I could go for 1-to-1s and still be profitable. But if you have like less, if you have like a 60% win rate or less, you need to go for 1 to 2 minimum RRs. Thank you, bro. Much love. Send everyone to you, man. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it. No problem. Good question. Like I said, I promise you there's people thinking the same shit you just asked. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put so much time in that question. I promise you, that's why I'm telling you to ask questions, because some people, they be shy or they don't want to sound silly asking questions. I promise you, you're not the only person confused or having that question. I promise you, there's other people in the hallway or watching these lives later that have the same exact question or issue you got. I promise you. I like this setup here. We're going to see how the next 15 closes, though. If we can hold this as resistance, we might jump into this bad boy right here. As long as it doesn't fucking tank in the next 40 seconds, we might hop into this bad boy right here. We're going to be on for a little bit longer, y'all. If y'all have any questions, drop them in the chat. When we're looking at your charts, drop them in the chat. But you already know the drill. We're just chilling, patiently waiting. Again, we do got some news later on today. Make sure to be on the lookout for that. Members, we won't be going live. I might be live on TikTok during the news, though. But, you know, we're going to be breaking shit down. We're not going to really be paying attention to the news that much during the TikTok live. But still, what am I about to do? Give me 1 second. All right, new 15 just popped up. This is 210. Okay. All right, let's see if we can hold this low as resistance. Let's see how price reacts here. I already did a nice retest. I want to see who's going to retrace a little bit more. I like this setup here, though. So we're going to take this setup right here. All right, we're going to hop in this bad boy. We're still looking for buys on GU, y'all. Again, if we can maintain 37.70 as support, we can look for buys going to 38.05, or we can even see price retest 37.40 as support, or even 37.10. But we're looking for buys on GU nonetheless. All right, GJ, we're looking for sales. Members, you got the entry, it's doing the retest. So we're gonna take this setup right here. We're gonna take this setup right here. Yeah, we're gonna let this thing play out. Not going to take anything else until probably New York session, just because everything else still got some work to do. But I like this setup right here. All right, so let me catch it to the chat, y'all. You see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Like, they keep on y'all saw how I had my levels marked off. That's what I'm talking about. TradingView keeps on fucking with my levels on NAS100. I don't know if they're trying to nerf me. Because if y'all was here at the beginning of the live, just rewind to the beginning of the live, you would see that I had these levels marked off, just like I had my NQ levels marked off. But they keep on fucking with my NAS100 charts. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know what the fuck's going on. They keep on changing my levels. I don't know what the fuck they got going on. But they gotta cut it out, right? I don't know what the fuck they got going on, so I gotta redo these levels again. But just rewind to the beginning, so y'all know what the levels were. Because as you see, I don't know what the fuck TradingView got going on, but they keep on glitching my levels on NAS100. I don't know why they did that. I'm about to catch it to the chat in a second, but I just gotta delete all this shit. I'm just about to delete every line and redo it at this point because they're trying to sabotage me, but they don't realize that I will keep on doing these levels over and over again if I have to. I don't give a fuck. All right, but NQ, we're gonna be looking for buys on NQ. All right, as long as we can maintain 2680 as support, we can look for buys. So at this point, if we can maintain 26270 as support, we can look for buys going to 26400, or we can look for price to retest 26170 as support and look for buys there as well. All right, if y'all was in the live yesterday, NQ when that's projected, and we're gonna look for continued buys today on NQ. So I got to redo my NAS100 levels for the Forex traders because as y'all see, TradingView is fucking tripping. I don't know what they got going on, right? And it's only my NAS100 chart they're doing it with. I don't know what's going on. They're only doing it with my NAS100 chart, but we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. All right, so we're gonna see your price. This would have been a nice setup here, but again, we missed the setup. Nothing we can do about that. So we're gonna take this setup right here. All right, did a nice retest, holding as resistance. So now we're about to see if we can get some more volume and price push to the downside. All right, that's what we're looking at. It doesn't move for the day, but I still like this setup right here. Again, depending on how price plays out this week will determine if the downtrend is going to officially come in on GJ or if we're going to reverse back into the bullish momentum. All right, so we're going to let this bad boy play out right here. And then we're also going to see how GU reacts to this level right here. But let me catch it to the chat really quick, make sure I'm not missing anything. What does that number look like that you need in your account to make a difference in trading? That's person to person, all right? So rewind a little bit, rewind like 10 minutes, 20 minutes to when you see this question on the screen, because literally your question I answered when I answered his question as well, but it's based on person to person, right? That's why I be telling people all the time, like people be like, how much do you need to start trading? My question back is, what are you trying to do with trading? Right? Are you just trying to trade? Because if you're just trying to trade, I can give you the answer everybody else gives you because they just want you to buy some shit. Oh, you can start with $100. Yeah, you can start with $100, but again, what are you trying to do with trading? Are you just trying to get into the markets? Are you trying to make part-time income? Are you trying to make full-time income? What are you trying to do with trading? That's the first thing you have to ask yourself. Why are you trying to trade? What is your point and goal with trading? What are you trying to accomplish? Every time I do a one-on-one session with a member or student, shout out to the members that have one-on-one sessions. The very first session, that's literally the first thing I ask them. I say, tell me about yourself. How long have you been trading? What are you trying to accomplish? What are your goals with trading, right? Because if you do not know those answers, you're just going to be another person on the internet just doing random shit, right? And you're not going to have that path to follow and that drive to actually take this shit seriously, right? So you need to ask yourself that, right? Everybody's different, right? So you got to ask yourself that. Or you can tell me, then we can answer that question with more depth and detail, but I can't just, it's not a generic answer, you know what I'm saying? It literally depends on what you're trying to do with trading. It literally depends on what you're trying to do with trading. Let's see what else we got going on here. Would you happen to be chatting with me? No. I only have one TikTok page, okay? My only TikTok page is the one that you see scrolling at the bottom of the screen, _Playmaker Way with the blue logo. If you see any other TikTok page that their username is not _Playmaker Way _, Report and block them. Report and block them. Okay? If I ever DM you talking to you about crypto, report and block them. Okay? That is not me. That is also why I tell y'all to not just search up my Telegram. Because let me show y'all something, right? There are a bunch of fake Telegrams on me, right? If I type in right now, Playmaker what? Let's see what we find. Okay, it's not working, but it was working the other day. But there's fake accounts. Like there's fake accounts. Like look at this shit. Look at this shit. I typed in Playmaker what? Look at all these different accounts. Again, do not join any Telegrams that are not linked to my YouTube videos or are not linked in this link right here, okay? If it's not from this link or from my YouTube videos, do not join any Telegrams. I will only DM you on TikTok if you comment Playmaker under my comments or if you DM me first. But I'm never gonna be like, hey, how's your trading going? You know, they always say that generic bullshit. Hey, I see you followed. How's your trading going? Or you wanna give me $100 in crypto and I'll give you $500 back? No. Oh, I'm telling y'all, I know TikTok is blocking y'all from joining through TikTok, but do not join anything that's not under these links. If the TikTok links do not work, go to the YouTube, go to any of my comments under my YouTube post, click the Telegram there, or go to the Instagram and then go to the bio in the Instagram link and then join from there. Do not join anything outside of my links or from my main TikTok account. I'm glad you said that, but that's why I be telling you on TikTok, I got a bunch of fake accounts. These are not my accounts. These are not my accounts, right? Like, look at this, 6 subscribers. I don't type like this, right? So do not fall for the okie doke, right? Do not fall for the okie doke, all this bullshit crypto stuff. This is not me, okay? This is not me. Like, there was one page I found that had like 500 people in that shit. These are only 1 subscriber. They just made these pages, right? But I literally saw one like a month ago that had like 500 people in that shit, and they were pretending to be me. But I'm never going to be doing none of this shit. I don't do that shit, right? If I don't do none of this shit, right? None of my stuff looks like this, so do not join. These are just the 1 subscriber. Like I said, I found one the other day that had like 500 people in there getting finessed and shit. I think I blocked them. That's why it's not popping up no more. But there are a bunch of fake TikTok accounts. There are a bunch of, y'all should be in profit. Let me let the members know we just hit a TP. But there's a bunch of fake TikTok accounts, a bunch of fake Telegram accounts. Do not follow or join anything unless it's linked to my bio. So we barely missed TP1. We barely missed TP1. All right. But I'm glad you said that. No. If I ever talk about crypto, it's going to be on a YouTube video. Okay? I'm never going to be hitting y'all up talking about crypto. And again, I will never DM y'all first. If I ever message y'all, it's because y'all messaged me first or you commented Playmaker under one of my posts. Those are the only times you'll ever see me message you first. Okay? So report and block that motherfucker. All right? Report and block that motherfucker. All right, because again, I'm not the biggest trader in the space, but again, people still know. I'm telling you, you'll be surprised who knows about me, right? I just be keeping my mouth shut about stuff because I just be minding my business, but you'll be surprised the people that watch my stuff, the people that know me, and the things I've done in the trading space, right? You'll be surprised. And it's funny because some of y'all found me through these. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. I turned a new leaf. I'm not going to be petty and get into that. But if you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. If you know, you know. All right. So again, make sure to hit that first link, description, join a free signal, free Telegram. Again, only click the links in this Telegram right here. If I ever show results, it's never going to be some white MT4, MT5 screen. All right. Never, 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 never. Never, never, never. All right. Never, never, never. And I don't really be posting student results like I should, right? I'm gonna start posting more student results and shit, but y'all know I just be vibing. But I got a lot more student results to post because we have a shit ton of people that got funded this month. Shout out to the playmakers. Shout out to those that took this GJ setup with us. We're in profit right now. We're about to see if we can hit TP1 on this bad boy. But let's see what else we got going on. 15-minute time frame. Yeah, so I enter off the 5 and 15. Correct. You seen it? Yeah, it's crazy out here. Yep. I'm telling you, there's a bunch of fake accounts, and some of them don't even be trying. Like their name be like some Arabic shit, but then their profile say Playmaker Way, but their tag be like some Arabic shit. I'm like, bro, y'all don't even change y'all's tag to even try to sound like my shit. Like it'd be crazy what they got going on out here. But that's why I tell y'all to only click my links, y'all. That's why I always tell you to only click my links, because it's crazy out here. People be trying to take advantage of people, you know what I'm saying? That's why trading's got such a bad name, because there's scammers like that, and then there's marketers that are scammers as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember, you probably still can't, like, I still see posts to this day, people like, what's happened to all the Forex traders, right? You know, what happened to all the Forex traders from back in the day? Like, nobody trades Forex no more. Like, yes, people do trade Forex. Like, people treat Forex like it's fucking like saying Lord Voldemort's name or some shit. Like, no, Forex is not a scam. They were just scammers in the Forex space. You know what I'm saying? Trading isn't a scam. There are just scammers in the trading space. You know, and it's sick, but, you know, some people rather do that than learn the honest way to make some bread. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if we can hit TP1 right here. We got a new 5 and 15 about to pop up in a little bit. Let me catch you to the chat. We're gonna be on for a little bit longer, y'all. Y'all have any questions, drop them in the chat. Y'all got some good questions today. I appreciate those. I like the live. Make sure to subscribe as well. Got a new video dropping for y'all later on today. Let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's crazy out here. And it's only going to get worse because we're taking over. I don't know. We're slowly taking over. Instagram is still on bullshit. Instagram's still on dumb shit. But I'm still going to post on Instagram and figure that shit out. But and then they just changed. Like, I think TikTok sold them or sold themselves to some other company or some shit. That's why the TikTok was acting weird earlier this week. But we're still going to take over TikTok though, regardless. We're still going to take over TikTok. We're going to take over YouTube. And then when I figure out Instagram, we're going to take over Instagram. I don't even want to touch X. I don't even like X. I don't even want to touch Twitter. But if I get bored enough, I might fucking take over Twitter and rock some shit on Twitter too. Because I do got a Twitter account. I just don't post on it like that. But if I really want to, I'm going to fucking take over Twitter too, man. Fuck it. And I'm going to do it just by just showing proof. I ain't about to be like, this is why, because again, I run other social media pages. I know how to go viral if I wanted to, but I don't want to be that type of trader. Like I told myself when I first started making content, I was like, I don't want to be that type of trader. Because I know how to get views in the trading space, but I just don't want to be that type of trader. So that's why I purposely title my stuff the way I title them. Because if you find my page, it was either by a stroke of luck and chance, or because you're actually trying to learn how to trade. You see what I'm saying? So we're rejecting right now. We're still gonna hold to SRTP gets hit. We barely missed TP1. We're still gonna hold to SRTP gets hit though. And I gotta fix my fucking NAS levels because again they fucking trolled me on that shit. We're still gonna hold to SRTP gets hit. And even if the worst case scenario does happen, this is why risk reward is important as well, right? So before we hop off, this is also why risk reward is important. All right, so let me pull out my calculator again really quick. And again, if y'all got any questions, drop them in the chat. But let me pull out the calculator really quick, right? So this is why risk reward is also important. Let me pull it up really quick. All right. So first, let's go to this week, right? So we just look at this week alone. We're not even gonna talk about last week. Let's just talk about this week. So we got a 1 to 4. We got a 1 to 4, right? So let's say, let's just use simple numbers, right? Let's say we have a 10K account, and let's say we're risking $100 per trade, right? So we caught a 1 to 4 RR and a 1 to 4. So that means, again, 100 times 4, all right? 100 times 4, that's $400, all right? So we're up $800, right? Then yesterday we caught another 1 to 4 RR, right? So we're up another $400. So even if the worst case scenario happens with this GJ setup and our stop loss gets hit, we're still up for the week. You see, so this is why risk to reward is so important, because you want to make sure your winners are bigger than your losses. What the fuck just happened with my, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Did I just close out of the tab on accident? Hold on 1 second. Oh, that's why I did. I'm tripping. Okay, there we go. I was like, where's my StreamYard? Okay, we're good. I was like, I thought I closed out of it for a second, but we're straight, right? So this is the wrong calculator though. I got too many fucking tabs. That's what I was doing. Okay, boom. So hopefully y'all saw that. But if y'all didn't see that, hold on. Right? So let's just redo that. So let's say we started with a 10K account. We caught a 1 to 4 RR 2 times on Monday. Then we caught a 1 to 4 RR yesterday. So even if the worst case scenario happens, we take a loss on this trade, we're still going to be up for the week, right? This is why risk reward is so important. You want to make sure your winners are bigger than your losses. So even if, because a loss is going to happen, right? A loss is going to happen. The goal is not to avoid, you want to avoid losses, but the goal is not to never lose a trade. It's to win more than you lose, make sure your winners are bigger than your losses, and make sure your losses are small and consistent. You see what I'm saying? So even if we were to lose this trade, we still would be up for the week. And we definitely would still be up for the month. Because if we add on top of this week's trades, the trades we took last week, we got a 1 to 3, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. So that would be a 300, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. And then we caught a 1 to 4, 1 to 3, 1 to 6. 400, 1 to 3, 1 to 6. And then we're taking zeros, right? We're up, right? We're up, right? And then we include week 2, 1 to 4, 1 to 4. So we took a loss. I'm gonna include that loss first before I forget. Then we took a 1 to 4, 1 to 4, 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. So 200. Whoops. Shit. Can we back? Okay. 1 to 2. Boom. Right. Boom. So we're up this month, right? And then we include this right here, 1 to 1, 1 to 1. We're going to count that loss we took because we took a loss. And then we're going to do 1 to 1, 1 to 4, 1 to 2, 1 to 1, 1 to 4, 1 to 2, 1 to 4, 1 to 2. Right, so this is why I be telling you, like, I'm in no rush to take setups because I'm up. There's no need to do dumb shit to cancel out all these wins we've taken this month. So we're literally up for the month, right? Because if we started at 10K in this example, and just from the signals alone, we're almost doubled where we started this month at, just risk reward, right? Just risk reward alone, we almost doubled what we started with this month alone. You see what I'm saying? So this is why risk management is so important, and risk reward is so important. Okay. So you want to risk the same amount every single trade, and you always want to go for 1 to 2 minimum RR setups. So we're going to hold this to SL or TP gets hit. The game plan's still the same for everything else. Let me see what else we got going on here. What's going on, Simple? What's going on, Simple? So if y'all got any other questions, drop them in the chat. We're going to be on for a little bit longer. And then, yeah, we're going to be chilling. Again, we do have some news later on today. We have FOMC. So with FOMC, it's a little bit different from if we had news at like 10 o'clock, 8:30, 9:30. So you can still trade like a regular day. Just keep in mind 2 o'clock, 2:30. So with FOMC days, volumes are either going to be dead all day up until FOMC, or we're going to be able to find a setup before FOMC, and then when FOMC pops up, we're either going to see some action or no action, right? It's kind of a coin toss on FOMC days. That's also why I don't like going live on FOMC days, even though every New York live can sometimes have no crazy action happen. But a lot of times when I go live with FOMC with the members, it's like nothing fucking happens. So it's like, well, damn, you know? But sometimes stuff does happen, right? But, you know, it's a coin toss. You don't know until you know. You just want to prepare just in case, but you don't know until it plays out at the end of the day. All right. Let's see what this next 5 minute looks like. So we barely missed TP1, y'all. We're retesting again. Better see if we can hold this level. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't exit out that tab. I dragged it on accident, but I was like, where the fuck is my tab? I went to my left screen. I was like, where the fuck is my stream tab? So while we're doing that, let me go ahead and redo my NAS levels. And look, y'all, this is what I'm talking about. I literally deleted all my NAS levels, and now they just popped up again. TradingView is trolling me. I literally just deleted all these levels, and they magically popped up again. I don't know what the fuck TradingView's got going on. They might get a fucking email from me because I need to stop fucking with my charts. All right, you gotta stop fucking. They're only doing it with NAS100. I don't know what the fuck they got going on. I don't know what the fuck. Like a month or two ago, they fucked up on my buys from the past. Like they fucked up a bunch of like my buy setups from the past, right? Like we go to like you see this, like these were all trades like these, but like a month or two ago, they glitched out and fucked up all my past trades that I used to keep and look at. Like all my past trades from the past 3 years, TradingView fucking glitched out and ruined all my trades. Right now they all look fucking crazy. Like look at this shit. Like they all look fucking crazy. But then we look at the past couple months, it's normal. Right? So they already fucked up my trade shit, my trade ideas from the past that I used to like to look at and use as a reference, and I let that slide, and now they're glitching when I mark off my levels. All right, like look at this shit. Looks like the fucking, like I'm in Alaska right now looking at the lights. What they call the aurora lights? What the fuck that shit called? Looks like I'm looking at them damn aurora lights or whatever the fuck. All right, but we're going to just redo our levels again and see if it's going to let your boy live. All right, new 5 minute just popped up. So I gotta redo these levels again for the 4th time, because I redid them twice yesterday too. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Y'all see it scrolling at the bottom of y'all screen. Instagram playmaker_Wade, TikTok _playmaker_Wade_. Post daily on both pages. All right, make sure to subscribe as well. We're almost at 4,700 subscribers. We can get to that easily. And again, if you got any questions, drop them in the chat. Want me to look at any charts, drop them in the chat. And I got y'all. All right, so I got the levels marked off again. I don't know if they're even the same as last time, but they're still relevant levels. All right, so we're going to be looking for buys on NAS. So if we can maintain 26,170 as support, we can look for buys going to 26,230, possibly back up to the highs of 26,290, or we can see price retest 2690 as support, or even fill up this gap here at 2600 and look for buys there. All right, but we're looking for buys nonetheless on NAS100, unless of course it fails to hold those levels as support. All right, y'all. So again, we're looking for buys on NAS and Q. We're looking for buys on gold. We're looking for buys on GU, and then we're looking for sells on GJ. All right. So we are in drawdown on this. We're going to see what this next 15 looks like and see if it's going to push back in our favor or not. But even if we take a loss on that, we're still up for the week. Ain't going to be tripping too much about that. And then plus also this chart, I guess we're in the sell territory, but at the end of the day, the downtrend has not come into play yet. But we are technically in bearish momentum, which is why we're going for a sell setup here. So we're going to let that thing play out and see what it does. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the live. Shout out to everybody who's been alive since the beginning. No problem, no problem. You already know, Chris. Shout out to everybody who's been alive since the beginning. Oh, wait, there's another question. Do you trade live New York session with your community? I go live at least twice a week during New York session, during the news event. So like tomorrow and Friday, I'm going to be going live with the members. I'm going to be going live at 8:30 with the members tomorrow and Friday during the news. So I do that twice a week on usually during the news events. But like I tell you, I don't be on my computer at my desk like that. I'm not one of these motherfuckers that be streaming for 10 hours straight. The only reason why this live is longer than usual is because, like I tell you, if I have questions, I don't mind being on longer. But I'm not at my desk. Like when I'm trading, I be at my bed. I be in the kitchen cooking. I might be on a walk. I might be on the road. I might be in the streets. I am not one of these people that's at my desk all day or at my desk the whole time I'm in a trade. I'm just not one of those people. Right, that's not why I got into trading. I went into trading because of the convenience of, being able to do wherever the fuck you want. So I don't be streaming like that. I only stream London session to answer questions, stuff like that, but also because, again, when I first started doing shit, people was like, oh, you're a liar. You're not taking these setups. Prove it. So now I go live and I tell y'all exact prices. Y'all see the shit play out in real time. So it's like I can't make up shit that's happening in a live stream, but I'm not one of these traders that be live streaming for 10 hours straight. I just don't do it. I just don't do it. Like I said, before I started streaming, I literally was only at my desk when I was doing my initial analysis and when I was making YouTube videos. But I do go live at least twice a week with the members during the New York news. But what I do with the members and for the members every New York session is I drop the New York price watch list. So I'm about to scroll up a little bit so y'all don't see the signal we're in right now. But, all right, these are the old setups, right? So we go to yesterday for example, and we can see NAS holding this level here. I actually like this. It's actually, the only thing is NAS the big ass mover. That's the only thing I don't like. I hate trading when big moves already happen. That's one thing I don't like, but this is a valid buy setup here. But besides the point, right? So you can see yesterday, every day at the beginning of New York says I dropped the New York price watch list where I'm breaking down the trades we took during London session, and I go over possible setups going into New York session. So I go over exact prices to look for. I'll update you throughout the day when charts are going as projected, when charts hit my zones, when charts hit my levels, shit like that. But that's what I do with the members every New York session, right? Every New York session, I drop the New York price watch list. I'll do some voice messages. I'll let y'all know when charts are going as projected from the New York price watch list, when charts hit my zones, and all that good stuff, right? And I do that every day. New York session, right? You'll see me do this every day. At the beginning of New York, I'll drop trade ideas, and I'll let you know when we hit levels, all that good stuff. So you will get notifications, and I do walk y'all throughout the day on charts playing out and not playing out. Like I said, I'm not one of these people that's at my desk all day. I am not. Like, I'm about to hop back in the bed right the fuck now. I ain't about to lie to you. I'm hopping in the bed for like a couple hours and I got some work to do, but that's the beauty of trading, right? I got into trading, one, because this is how the rich make their money, but also for the convenience of being able to do this whenever I want, however I want. You know what I mean? But yeah, so And then you see we go live during news events. And if you missed the live, the recordings are always posted in there as well. But again, you see I notify y'all throughout the day when goals going at, well, not when goals specifically, but when charts are going as projected, when my levels get hit. And every day I drop at the beginning of the New York session, the New York price watch list. Right, so this is what I do with the members behind the scenes. All right, so make sure to click that link in the description. Become a playmaker. Either if you want to copy my signals, join the advanced play signal room. I got 3 more slots until somebody drops off for one-on-one sessions. With one-on-one sessions, you get access to the signals, as well as you get 1 session a week. That's an hour-long recorded, sent to you same day. Those recordings are yours to keep for life. Or if you just want a daily New York price watch list and notify when my levels get hit and trade ideas, just join Playmaker Alerts. Or if you want to learn my full strategy and get all my books, join Playmaker University. All right, again, I just showed you what it looks like behind the scenes. When you watch any of my YouTube videos the last 2.5 minutes, I go behind the scenes as well and tell you all the details and all that good stuff. But yeah, so we're still gonna hold this to SRTP gets hit. We're gonna let that thing play out. Let's see. No, you're straight. You're straight. I'm just explaining myself. That's all. You're straight. It's a valid question. But like I said, the reason why I go live London session is because I like to trade London into New York, or if there's no setups London session, I'll trade New York strictly. But like I said, I go live so y'all can see how it looks in real time, real market conditions, me actually looking for setups, not taking setups, winning trades, being in drawdown, all that good stuff. You get to see the good, bad, and the ugly. Some live streams, there's nothing going on, it's boring as hell. Other live streams is action-packed, like on Monday's live. You know, it's just different every day, but that's the beauty of the markets, you know what I'm saying? But that's the reason why I go live on this session, so y'all can kind of see what I do behind the scenes, but also so you can see, like, I really be talking about this shit. Like, I really do this shit, right? Because again, when I first came out the cut, people was like, there's no way this random motherfucker out of nowhere is having a 90% win rate. I still get under my YouTube posts. Like, I'm about to make a video today titled 100% win rate. And I guarantee there's going to be some goofy in the comments talking about, you didn't get a 100% win rate, even though you're showing it, even though you're telling me where to go to see the proof. People do that all the time. Like, even when I say I had an 85% win rate for the year, there's somebody, no, you didn't, you're lying. And I'm like, did you even look to see if I'm lying? Right? It's hilarious to me. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, if you got all your brain cells and you watch the live, you hear the prices I say. That's also why I do the Sunday chart now. So I'm like, I have receipts all over the place. So it's literally impossible to call me a liar, right? Because literally, let's say you don't watch the live streams. I literally told you at the beginning of the week we was going to be looking for buys on NAS100, US30, and buys on GU. And we literally went for buys all week so far. Just like last week, how we rolled the GJ wave all last week. We took GJ buys literally every single day last week, right? We took GJ buys literally every single day last week. And not only did we take GJ buys literally every single day last week, but if you watch last week's Sunday chart analysis, at the beginning of the week, I told y'all we was looking for GJ buys, right? So again, like, that's why I be telling you, like, when you understand how the market is working, all that shit, it's like having a cheat code. NAS is pushing as well. I could call this setup, but I'm gonna let NAS do his thing. I'm gonna see what it does New York session. But shout out to anyone that is in that NAS setup. But I'm gonna let NAS do his thing. But yeah, that's the main reason why I do the lives and stuff like that, you know. Concerning your win rate, even ChatGPT says it's not possible. That's what I'm saying. So when people see this shit, they're like, oh, it's not possible. Like, I remember one time, you know, I'll be like, you know, with the US30 setup, for example, right? This was like a couple years ago. It's hilarious to this day, right? Like, for example, you know, we caught 29,000 pips on US30, which is true. And people will be like, I remember this one time someone was like, you're lying because Google told me the average amount of pips people catch is 200. So you're lying. And I'm like, so I'm lying because the average person only catches 200 pips? But like you just said, even the internet says this shit's not true. That's why I be telling y'all, there's 2 types of people in this world, right? There's winners and losers. And just because there's a bunch of people agreeing in the comments, there's a bunch of likes and views or something, does not mean those people know what they're talking about. Because which group has the most people, the winners or the losers? right? The losers, right? So that's why when everybody be like, oh, you know, trading is not sustainable. Who the fuck told you that? Right? That's why when people are like, trading's gambling. Who the fuck told you that? You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with that, right? Like the internet will say all this shit, but that doesn't mean it's true, right? Just like when people are like, oh, it's a 99% failure rate. It's not a 99% failure rate. It's 99% of people fucking gave up, right? Because nobody can't tell you they never lost a trade ever. Nobody that's profitable can never tell you that they've never blown an account ever. Because if they did, they'd be lying, right? So it's not a failure rate. It's a motherfucking quitting rate. You see what I'm saying? And just a bunch of people on the internet coping, you know? Because like you just proved a point. Even ChatGPT says it's not possible yet. I mean, it's happening. Like we literally, unless GJ hits our stop loss, we literally haven't lost a trade at all this week. And we literally didn't lose a single trade that I called last week. So, you know what I'm saying? And we literally had an 85% win rate for the entirety of 2025, right? But that's why I'm Playmaker Way. It's called the playbook, right? And that's why when I'm live on TikTok, I always say what? Exposing the secrets to the charts, because again, that's also why I say the exact opposite of everybody else. And if somebody starts saying the shit I say, you know they watch me, because I literally say the exact opposite of everybody else. My charts look different from everybody else. I trade completely different from everybody else, and there's a reason for that, because I actually took the time to fuck what the internet said, right? Because the internet told me all about the lions, tigers, and bears as well, right? The internet told me about people sitting at a round table, stop loss hunting, and all this dumb shit too. But I just chose not to believe it because that shit sounds stupid as hell. Like you're going to tell me that there's 10 people sitting at a round table and we're so important that they're going to stop loss hunt us to make us fail evals? Like, is that what you're really telling me? That's why you took a loss? Because the buyers randomly took over? That's why you took a loss? Like, come on now. We gotta get real. You know what I'm saying? So I never believed that shit to begin with, and because I never believed that shit to begin with, that never became my reality, and I was able to actually look at the charts from a whole different perspective, which paid out, because now, you know what I'm saying, here we are now. You know what I mean? But that's why I sound completely different from everybody else, but that's why our results are completely different from everybody else as well, because again, we don't do what everybody else does, right? We don't do what everybody else does. Let's see what else we got going on here. All right, we're gonna be on for a little bit longer. I want to make sure I don't miss any comments, because I know sometimes y'all be mid-type, mid-sentence, so I want to make sure I don't miss any comments. So we're gonna be on for a couple more minutes. We'll probably be on until the candle closes. Again, we're just gonna hold this to SRTP gets hit. This would have been a nice setup too. I caught, but we missed it, so it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see how this plays out right here. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. When we're looking at any charts, drop them in the chat. We're right back here, so we're about to see if we can close back below this level here and see if we can hit some TPs. Then we just flip back. But going back to that point, right? It's just like this too. If that's why I go live, because if you didn't see it, you wouldn't believe it, right? It's just like, imagine if nobody ever recorded the Olympics, right? And Usain Bolt or what's that motherfucking Noah, whatever? I don't even remember that motherfucker's name. Noah, whatever, right? That motherfucker that's always happy, right? Imagine if nobody ever watched these people run before, and they told you there are 100 times and they're 200-meter times. Then the losers on the internet would be like, "You're a liar. You didn't run a 17 or 19 second 200. You're a liar, because Google told me the average person runs a 22 second or a 25 second 200. So that means you can't do it." But again, the key word is the average person, right? There's below average, there's average, and above average, right? So that's the same thing, right? If nobody ever was to watch the Olympics or seen these motherfuckers run, they'd probably think these people were lying about their 200 and 100 times as well. You know what I mean? That's just the, what the fuck happened to my music? There we go. Come on, get your act together. So it looks like it might hit this SL, but we're still going to hold the SRT because hit regardless. Not tripping too much on that. NAS looks like it's about to try to do a nice move here though. But yeah, so we might take a loss there. It is what it is though. We might take a loss there. It is what it is. Let me catch it to the chat, and then we're going to wrap this live up, y'all. Let's see what else we got going on. Been following me for a while now. Your strategy looks simple. It is simple, right? That's why my bio says trading made simple, because it literally is simple, right? You don't have to, there's no trend lines, there's no indicators. You don't have to memorize every candlestick name and pattern like you're collecting Pokemon. All you got to do is go with the flow of price. That's literally all I do every day. Go with the flow of price. That's why we win more than we lose, because if we're going with the flow of price, unless the flow of the price changes, we're going to win. You know what I'm saying? Or unless we get caught in a retracement or reversal, which is kind of like what we got going on right here. But if you go for strictly buys in the uptrend, strictly sells in the downtrend, by default, you're going to win 60 to 90% of the time. You see what I mean? That's why our win rate's so high. That's the secret. It's not me, you know, like, because again, everybody on the internet, they teach you to chase price. As soon as you see a juicy move up, a juicy move down, go for buy, go for sell. I don't tell you to do that, right? They also are in defense mode, right? They're always trying to outsmart or compete against other people, right? Buyers versus sellers, sellers versus buyers, right? Or because I am scared to take a trade, I'm gonna try to catch a bounce or reversal, all this other shit, right? That's why a lot of people get fucked up. But if you know what you're doing and you just go with the flow of price, you're going to win more than you lose. Like literally, you're going to win more than you lose. Again, I'm not gonna say you're not gonna lose any trades, because again, we look at how we did last year. We lost 30 trades, but guess what? We won 232 trades, right? We still won 85% of the time. And not only did we win 85% of the time, but our winners are always bigger than our losers. So again, it's just like the math I just showed y'all earlier in the live. If you win more than you lose, and your winners are bigger than your losers, you're going to be profitable. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? Again, the goal is not to never lose. The goal is to make sure you win more than you lose, and make sure your winners are bigger than your losers. That's how simple it is, right? Like, I literally be getting cussed out of my comment section sometimes. People are like there's this one dude, I blocked him though, because I don't got time for that dumb shit. There was this one dude complaining like, all your trade breakdowns are the same. I'm like, that's the point, because I do the same shit every day, right? Or some other dude was like, another simple trade breakdown on YouTube. I'm like, what did you want me to do? Did you want me to pull out a protractor and use all this terminology that you got to Google and look up what I'm talking about? Or do you want to watch a video that makes sense and you can comprehend? You know what I mean? Again, trading is not complicated. Trading is so simple, people overcomplicate it. But trading is very simple. If we're moving up more than we're moving down, go for buys. We're moving down more than we're moving up, go for sells. You know what I'm saying? It's literally that simple. But yeah, so we're gonna hold this to SRTB gets hit, and then we're gonna see what GU's got in store for us. Again, we're looking for NAS and Q buys, we're looking for gold buys, we're looking for GU buys, and at the moment we're looking for GJ sells. Very mechanical, yup. Shout out to everybody in the live. Shout out to everybody's been alive since the beginning. Shout out to everybody's been alive since y'all joined. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free student for your Telegram. If you're interested in learning how to identify these levels, my studio services, or mentorship programs, you already know what to do. Click those links in the description. Become a playmaker. All right. Get your copy of the playbook. Shout out those that got their copies. Get your copy of the playbook. All right. I got a new video dropping for y'all later on today. Make sure to be on the lookout for that. Make sure to have y'all's noties on. Make sure to check out my other video I dropped earlier for y'all this week. Explore the playlist, y'all. Explore the day trading tips playlist. Explore the trade breakdowns playlist. And like always, you want to contact me directly, you can DM me on Instagram, Telegram, or TikTok. Only those three. All right. I respond to all messages. And yeah, we'll be back at it tomorrow, same time. London session 3 p.m. EST. Peace. We out.